Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Days. I'm Wanda and today we are making a gluten-free figgy pudding. Now, a couple of days ago I made a regular figgy pudding pie. Now, that one was with regular flour, it was a self-rising flour, and it was really more of a cakey pie pudding type consistency. It was really excellent. So Danny didn't want to feel left out, so I needed gluten-free. So today I'm using almond flour and a little bit of coconut flour in place of the self-rising. We're going to kind of adjust as needed because this is the first time making it. We're just inventing a recipe. I'm going to be using almond milk. We're going to add figs, dates, and raisins, and a touch of orange. We're going to be adding the pure cane sugar. We're also going to be, to the almond flour, I've added baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And we're going to be mixing all this up in a food processor, some of it in the food processor, then adding the fruits and stuff in a bowl and baking it for an hour at 325 and see how Danny's gluten-free figgy pudding turns out. I've already put half an orange in here. The juice from half an orange, then that's a Deep South orange. This is half a cup of almond milk, and I added a teaspoon of lemon juice to it to make buttermilk. We're going to be adding some of our figs that we can this year. And again, a lot of your recipes come from taking rehydrating figs from dried figs. I'm not rehydrating. I already have whole figs that we preserved, and there's a video on that. And I'm going to use about half a jar. This is a quart jar. With mine, I used a pint jar, and it turned out awesome. So I'm going to do about a pint in this. And the deal is, if you're rehydrating figs, these are already still hydrated. And these have a touch of sugar. So I am using the Marina Pure Cane Sugar. It's all natural. I'm using it, and I'm only doing not quite half a cup. We're going to add that in there because everything's a little on the sweet side. So we've got to add 3 eggs, and these are our eggs from our chickens. We're going to add a cup of almond flour, our soda, salt, and baking powder, a quarter of a cup of coconut flour. We're going to mix this, and then we're going to add our vanilla and our other ingredients. And if we need more milk, we'll know in a minute. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Good consistency. It'll pour, so I think that's a good consistency there. We're going to go over and add in the fruits. We're going to take all of this and put it in a bowl. This tool, amazing. Pampered Chef is wonderful. This helps get most everything out of there. And if I sat and scraped hard enough, it would be even cleaner. We're going to add a half a teaspoon of pure vanilla. We're adding dates and raisins. And we're just going to mix this in. And it is kind of soupy because I'm expecting this to be more like a pudding than mine was. And we're going to see how well that does. But isn't that awesome? Gluten-free figgy pudding. And we're just going to put it in a bowl. And we're going to bake it for 1 hour at 325. All right, Danny's is out of the oven and it's cooling. Mine, you can see half of it's done gone since yesterday. This stuff is amazing. Mine is a figgy pudding pie. This one, we're going to see, it looks good and it's spongy. So we're going to see what his looks like shortly and what it tastes like.
Kind of raisiny tasting.
Got raisins in it.
It's really moist. I wouldn't let nobody else eat it. I'd save it all for me.
What are your things? What does it taste like? A cake, a pudding, a pie?
It tastes like a very moist cake. Kind of like, you know how red velvet cake's real moisty? Got a lot of moisture in it.
According to who bakes it.
Well, I guess it's according to who makes it.
Some of them
usually it's got a lot of high oil content in it. It's kind of like that. It's a very moist cake-like texture.
Could it be considered any ways a pudding pie, like I do the persimmon pudding pies?
It's moister than a persimmon. It's I'm trying to think of it's like a bread pudding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's more like a bread pudding.
It's like a bread pudding, yes.
Can you taste the figs?
Faintly. If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have never picked it up. But now that you said it, I taste it faintly. The raisins are overpowering everything, which I like because I like a raisin taste.
And it has dates in it.
Oh, maybe it's the dates then, but it tastes more like raisins.
It's the raisins probably your taste. The dates you don't pick the date taste up as much as the raisins. So you think my figgy pudding?
Oh, this is a definite go.
And it's more like a bread pudding.
More like a bread pudding. Now, I'll say one thing that would make it probably 10 times better. Would be chopped up pecans.
I could have put pecans in it.
A few pieces of pecans scattered around in it.
So this is a recipe we want to keep, and it's gluten-free. Made with your almond flour and a touch of coconut flour.
It's definitely a winner. I would keep that one to put in a future cookbook.
Y'all heard it, guys. He's telling me I need a future cookbook.
She needs to make a future cookbook.
I just finished a cookbook.
Yeah, but that's a recipe. Don't lose it.
I made a video.
Okay. Don't lose that.
All right,
recipe.
guys. You heard it here. Gluten-free figgy pudding.
Yes, that right there is outstanding. I mean, that's probably the best pudding I've had all day.
I bet it is, because you ain't had none. Thank you guys from Crazy Days.